Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andrew Snorton with Creative Community Solutions. And as you're aware, on the press and media end, we get a chance to talk with some truly amazing people, whether it's in college and professional sports, arts and entertainment, community and nonprofits. And one of my favorites, when I get a chance to talk with a fellow author, I tell you what, there's some really good people doing some really good things. To make sure to stay connected, when you visit our website of asnortonccs.com, click on the menu for articles and coverage, as well as the subdirectory for books and authors to find out more about the great author we're getting a chance to talk with. To see the article elsewhere, when you add Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see some of the video and things along those lines. Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, we will have this available on LinkedIn as well as Medium. So again, I always have a little bit extra energy when I get a chance to talk with the fellow author. And I'm so excited, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, to talk with this wonderful author right here. Could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Victoria Oltarsh, and I've been in the arts my whole life. Hi diddly dee, the actor's life for me. I've been teaching theater from all grades my whole life. And I, of course, teach playwriting, and I'm a published lyricist with Grover Washington. So I've sort of had my hand in a lot of pots in the arts, but I was nursing my daughter when she was 1 year old, and I closed my eyes and this vision came across, and it was this book, and that was in 1981. And she, like, I was a drama teacher. I became a single mom, and it took all this time. This year, finally, during the pandemic, I had the time to take all the editing and write the book, and it was published and went to #4 on Amazon, and it won an International Book Award, and hopefully some more. I applied to a few more awards, so we'll see.
Wow. And I tell you what, you know what? A number of people during that pandemic, that was time to slow down the moving parts. Before we dive into your book, and it's an extraordinary story of how you had this extended incubation period, so to speak, describe to us where you developed your passion and interest for reading as well as writing.
Yes. So I was lucky enough to have grandparents that lived right across the street from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And we would go to the museum every day when I would visit them on the weekend. And my grandmother took me to see Broadway shows. And I remember being 8 years old and saying, I want to do this. And the books that I loved as a child were Hans Christian Andersen, who I later read after doing many adaptations of his stories and performing them for children and assembly programs with adult actors, is that he was sort of a troubadour. He would have these salon performances and gather people, and he was like the Pied Piper of stories. That was my greatest inspiration as a child. I loved things like The Secret Garden, The Little Prince. And you asked about what was my inspiration as a book, and The Alchemist is my favorite book. And if you know The Alchemist, they the publishing company didn't want to call it The Alchemist, and he fought for it, and he made sure it is The Alchemist. And so I really related to this book because it's fiction, but just like my book and all the kind of writing I do, there's a message behind it. And I would say that this Alice in Wonderland, all those kind of classical tales, I love.
Wow. And I tell you what's extraordinary, because everyone gets their inspiration from somewhere, and you've gotten yours from a combination of the lessons learned or the themes covered from your classic work, your immersion in the arts. And we can tell, like, we can see the artsy, creative stuff, just like it just comes out. Like, even if you didn't tell us that these are the things you teach or the topics, like, Yeah, I see like you in art galleries going like lock and key your hand in foot. So with all this creative energy and ideas and concepts, and you finally were able to slow down the moving parts to come up with your book. Walk us through a little bit of that process, as well as the title and the creative themes and topics that you're covering with your work.
Yes. So one of the greatest things, like I said, I was a classical piano major in college. I know what it's like to sit and practice, and all of that is so important in the arts, learning all the structures. But when I was in that room in Miami Beach in the middle of the night and this story came to me, it was like a gift. And one of the things that I'm very, I would say, is so dear to my heart is metaphysical, meditation, earth, ocean, healing, all the incredible modalities that connect you to the breathing and to the sound of the ocean and to the stars. And I remember being a little girl and we'd be driving home and I'd be maybe 7 years old, just looking up at the stars, wondering, what is that? What is beyond? Like, what is going on? And in that flash of that vision, the whole story is based on that. A boy, I saw the boy, he was 8 years old. He was making a wish upon a star, and then he's taken up and he finds his answers through that journey. So my story is called The Boy and the Secret of the Stars.
Wow. And I love what you just said because almost all of us, when we were younger, it would be a clear night and you look at the stars and you wonder what's really out there. And and what you're sharing with me kind of taps into one of my favorite books by William Blake, Songs of Innocence and Experience, where you're viewing things through the vantage point of a child, and then later on is viewing them the same type of thing as through the lens of an adult. Walk through with us, I guess, your ability to connect or reconnect with that childlike wonder and curiosity and creativity, that we all kind of remember. Sometimes we put it on hold, but how are you able to, I guess, rekindle that and renew it? So not only are you speaking with young people, but you're also speaking with grown-ups to still maintain that childlike energy from time to time. Walk us through that process.
Sure. Well, I spend my life with children. I right now I have a third grade class of 10 girls. I have a fifth grade class of about 25. I've had teenagers who I love teenagers, especially eighth and ninth graders. And when I'm with them is the time when I feel the most connected to me. Because I think when you are creative or everyone's creative. And so that's one of my greatest messages is what is your dream? Like, what do you feel alive and from? What do you, like Jonathan Campbell said, follow your bliss. My bliss is getting in the middle of a group of kids and finding out what excites them. And then I'm excited, because I am that at that moment. I'm mirroring that, they're mirroring me. And I it's I feel the same with wild animals, or I throw eggs across this driveway that's out my second floor window, and I watch ravens and crows come, and they're wild, and blue jays come to my windowsill and they're wild, and yet there's a connection. They wait for me to open the window, and it's the same with the children. Like sometimes I come into a class and they're like, who's this woman? And I get into that energy. I do a lot of improv and I get into that energy with them. And then I am them and they are me. And I'm that same age and I'm doing raps um, and I think it keeps you young, forever young. We are forever young, that spirit within us.
Wow. I tell you what, just listening to you and just seeing, it's like that fire is kindling. Like you said, that energy, that spirit, the ways to draw connections through conventional, unconventional, standard. It's almost like it's almost like the whole painting imagery. You have this canvas, but maybe this time you're throwing a splash of this and a dab of that and something else, and just drawing connections and, like you said, feeding off the energy and being renewed. Like those are already ideas that I know I can vibe with, and I'm sure others can vibe with. So, getting back to your book, and of course, congratulations on the recognition on the Amazon bestsellers list. Walk us through any upcoming events that you have, whether you have any readings, book signings, any festivals, so people can engage with you to not only feel the same type of energy we're feeling right now, but to really like even further embrace it.
Sure. So I just got through doing a wonderful, there's in Nyack where I live, if you think of Manhattan, it's like 45 minutes north of Manhattan. I mean, I'm in Manhattan a lot, but there's this little town, it's a river town called Nyack. And there's this incredible bookstore called the Big Red Books. And it's like your dream bookstore of like local authors, debut authors. He has plays there. He has it's really fascinating and wonderful books. And so I just did a book reading there and a book signing and at Barnes and Noble, and I have one scheduled in Paramus in January. It's a funny time of year right now because everyone's sort of finished with what was in 2024 and they don't want to book yet for 2025. But what I'm excited about is I have a website, and on my website, there's a place where you can leave me a message. And if there is anyone out there listening who has groups, children, schools, classes, people that love writing or want to talk about how to believe in the power of your dreams in an active way, please write me. There's a place where they can contact me or on Facebook, and I'll let just say, I'd like you to know, or I have a place where you could come to, because my book just came out in March, so it's not even a year. And so I'm just at the beginning, in a way, of marketing and doing all these things that you do.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, and it's great, like you said, and I love how you referenced, you know, not only with what you've done like at Barnes and Noble, but referencing our independent bookstores. I think people forget how much of a jewel these places are. And I can share from personal experience. Those are things that just help you grow. And again, just like you're doing right now, drawing connections, just getting back to that good organic energy and vibe and spirit where everyone can take something away that's positive and enriching and engaging. So I commend you for the work that you've historically done, as well as the work you're doing now with your book that just came out in March. So as we get ready to kind of put things together, remind people of the best ways for people to engage
on
with
Instagram at Victoria Oltarsh, Oltarsh. Victoria OH, like, oh, I'm Victoria O on Facebook, and Victoria Oltarsh, my name, at LinkedIn. And you can always messenger me. And I have, I'm on Amazon, which you can see The Boy and the Secret of the Stars, if that's the main thing you remember. And you can read about my bio and a few professional book reviews. I have 30 book reviews on Amazon, 5-star, which was very exciting. But I want to tell you that I have a website. I'm not very technically knowledgeable, but I have a website. So you know how you go small h, t, t, p, s, dot, dot, and then those 2 lines. But I think you can just find it through victoriaoltarsh.com. and it'll open up and you'll see all the illustrations. I just have to tell you one interesting thing. So that little girl that was, I told you, an infant when I was nursing, she grew up to go to Parsons School of Design and become an illustrator, and she's the illustrator on the book.
Oh, wow. That, I tell you what, that is awesome. And it lets you know the impact that you're making in so many ways, shapes, and forms. That is totally amazing and outstanding. Seriously.
And I can't wait till you see the readers, and you see, if you go on the website, there's all these, you'll see illustrations, you'll see pictures of me at the different events with the different kids. I taught at the Nyack Library just a month ago. You'll see the big red bookstore and Barnes and Noble. And it also gives you the podcast I've done. So when this podcast comes live, I'll be putting that on there too. So it's just sort of, if you want to find out about me and read the review and read a bit about the book, that's the best way. And they have a link you can directly purchase if you wanted to buy the book.
Well, I tell you what, I am so glad that we took this time just to sit and talk and share and exchange. I tell you what, you've got a tremendous story that you are still writing. So we definitely want to commend you for that. And of course, with your book, with the young people you're reaching, the by number maybe not young, but still heart, soul, and mind who are still young. We definitely want to thank you for taking time to share your story. And as we go ahead and conclude, as a reminder, remember, visit acenortonccs.com, click on the menu for articles and coverage. You'll find our article there, as well as the subdirectory for books and authors. Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube, Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, we will have this available on our LinkedIn as well as Medium. So we definitely want to thank Victoria for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, if this is the first time you've even heard of our author, please don't let it be your last. Like, share, repost, all that type of thing. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a good day. We hope you have a good holiday season and look forward to what 2025 is about to bring. Thank you so much.